we all love startups, of course. In many cases, the startups are the innovators, the visionaries, the ones who have crazy ideas, but they're also the ones who take risks and are trying to push innovations and seek creative solutions. But a startup obviously also has a lot of challenges. It's not easy to get established as a startup. So this is why Hubject created the eMobility Startup Awards. It's an opportunity to give a little bit of added exposure to startup companies and to support them. So we're going to be hearing from the finalists of this year's Startup Awards in just a moment, but the first step is to get our jury on the stage. So jury members, are you ready? Will you come join me up here? All right, here they come. Okay, I think one of the jury members certainly needs no introduction. It's our very own Christian Hahn, the CEO of Hubject, so I'm sure all of you already know him. We're also very pleased to have on the jury Sherif Rahim. He is the executive director at Improved Corporate Finance. So hello, jury member. We also have our veteran jury member, Wulf Schlachter, CEO of DXBe Management. Greetings to you. And also on this year's jury is our winner from last year. So Bertrand Lepage, he's the CEO of WATTPARK, or WATTPARK. Hello. So, Bertrand, if you don't mind, before we begin with our finalists from this year's Startup Award, we want to hear from our winner from last year. What has your year been like? And, well, actually, no, let's take a step back. First, for the people who maybe weren't here last year, can you just give us a quick outline of what your startup does? Why don't we start with that?
First of all, I'm really grateful to be part of this edition of ICNC. For those who don't know WATTPARK, so we develop like a full EV charging ecosystem that you can share and monetize. So we build like the software, and we also develop a protocol that works completely offline, so you are sure to access the charging station anywhere, especially in rural areas, where we actually manufacture our own charging station. So this is what we do. So we have been called the Airbnb of charger, at least in France.
Okay, so what has your year been like since you won the Hubject Startup Award? What has changed?
Yeah, for us, it has been a crazy year, to be honest. So it really was like a stepping stone for our company to grow and to develop itself. So for us, we managed like to, first of all, to connect with so many people from electric mobility that help us also to connect to other people, such as investors. And we managed like to raise 1.5 million after this event. So it's really important, like for such a small startup such as ours. And last year, when we were at this event, we only installed like 2 charging stations, so it's not that much. And now we reached like more than 200 charging stations installed and being shared in France. So it was really for us like a great journey. And again, really grateful like to be here and to be part of this jury this year.
Would you say that was the milestone that you're most proud of, or were there other milestones that you reached over the past year?
Actually, like France is a very difficult market actually to start a business. And last year, after the ICNC, we managed to get in touch with ministers and also with a lot of public representatives who help us to understand like what is the value add that we created with our solution and with the protocol that we have developed. So I believe that amongst all the good things that happened to us, that this is the most interesting and impressive thing that we managed to get out of this event.
So now we're about to hand the trophy over to this year's winner, but your journey obviously will be continuing. What do you see as the biggest challenges that your company will have to tackle in the next years?
For us, it was already the biggest challenge last year, and it remains the biggest challenge this year. So since we manufacture our charging stations, we face like so many shortages along the way. So every time we manufacture a few hundred charging stations, it's always a challenge, and it's not going to be, let's say, easier like in the upcoming months. So if we want to scale and if we want to grow our business, we need to manufacture, and we need to find ways in an agile way to continue our manufacturing, local manufacturing in France.
And now I have to ask you, because you were here last year for the conference as a Startup Award finalist. This time it's a year later. You maybe have a different perspective as a participant of this conference. What was the conference like for you this year?
But I didn't realize like last year how big and representative this event was, to be honest. So if I can have a look back at what happened over the last 12 months, I couldn't imagine like all the good things that happened like to our company. And the ICNC, I mean, especially this Startup Award, really brought like a lot of credibility to what we did, and it also helped us, to grow, and this is like the most important thing, as a startup. So I would say that like the only advice I could give like to the finalists is just like enjoy this moment, enjoy this time, and only good things will occur afterwards.
Very good advice, I think. So with that said, good advice for this year's finalists. I say we just go right ahead and introduce them one at a time. So we will begin with the CEO and co-founder of Farol, Mariana Mota. Are you here? Where are you? Come on up. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, so we all know the routine. Before I get into the instructions, so just a one-sentence introduction of your startup. So Farol is the one-stop shop for point-of-sale customer experience in e-mobility. Okay, that's all I say, because Mariana is going to have to explain the rest in her pitch, which she only has 5 minutes for, and then beep, 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 and the stage opens and she falls down. No, just joking. So you have 5 minutes for your elevator pitch, and after that, she will have to answer 2 questions from our jury members. Okay?
All right.
Mariana, you ready?
I was born
sort of. You're born ready. Yeah. So we share a name, so we're all ready for whatever comes our way.
Okay.
Okay. We have the timer. We do.
All right.
Do we have the timer? Where is our timer? Because I don't want her to lose any precious seconds.
Yes.
Okay. And the stage is yours.
Thank you. So the image that you see here is actually a 6-meter tablet that is placed on what we know now as Turkey. And this tablet was placed there by King Xerxes to make sure that everyone arriving to that particular location, they would know, 1, who are they paying for? In what conditions? 2nd, who is responsible for that location? The gods and the goddesses and whatnot. And he was smart enough to understand that not everybody speaks Dutch or Finnish, so it has actually 3 languages there. It's translated, so everybody can understand. At Farol, we think that if we were able to do this 2,500 years ago, we can do this now, point of sale in eMobility. We are a Nordic-based startup, and I'm Mariana. I've been working with eMobility since the dawn of the day. We have identified 3 segments that are either not tackled at all or poorly tackled in this industry. First, digital signage and product placement. Point of sale means 2 things. It means eyeballs, and it means also power of purchase. CPOs are missing out when they're just monetizing their point of sale with charging sessions. There's much more that you can bring there. And you can also create a better experience for the customer by taking advantage of digital signage, and not only stickers on chargers. Wayfinding and complexity mitigation. We, as humans, we were able to make a way better job when it comes to wayfinding and way more complex ecosystems, such as airports. We think that digital signage is a must at point of sale. And third, the Loch Ness monster of mobility payments. So we believe that the self-service payment and user empowerment is also needed at point of sale. For that, to tackle all of that, we have created a concept, and this concept is called the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is supposed to do to humans, to drivers, exactly the same that a lighthouse does to the ships and vessels in the sea. It's supposed to guide the customer through the journey, since the customer starts until the end. And for that, we have a portfolio of products. So the first one that is in the center of this slide is called the Lighthouse. It's a 22-inch screen that you can place at point of sale, and then regardless of the charger manufacturers that you have, the customer experience will always start there in the same way. You can pay for your charging session there. You can choose the connector, pay in a payment terminal, as you pay for anything else in your life, with no registration, get a receipt or not, and move away. For the charge point operators, though, this is a digital signage. It's a way to communicate and to convey your message to your customers, to create local partnerships with the locations that you work so hard to seize, and to also create new sources of revenue streams with new partners, with EMSPs and whatever. Then you have the Lighthouse Mini that is placed next to it, which is the same concept, smaller footprint, because we know that some locations you simply don't have room to put much hardware. And then you have the Lighthouse Prismas that are here on the right. And they're basically screens. And we are taking advantage of all the protocols that we have in mobility, so OCPP, OCPI, to display information at point of sale for the customer. Pricing. When does the people that park there arrive? What are the location partners that this CPO prefer? Who is available in that charger? There are some chargers in Central Europe that have more than 17 EMSPs behind them. We need to be able to communicate. Now, I could go about telling you all the magical things that you can put on display, but you've all been in malls, shops, etc. So I want you to come to me and tell me what you want to put on these screens, and at Farol, we will make it happen. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. And now our jury members will ask 2 questions.
Thank you very much. Very insightful presentation, and I'm really impressed by the example you have shared with us that things were already invented, so to say, a couple of thousand years ago. We just need to keep it in mind. And you also spoke about the kind of complex ecosystem we are seeing right now in the charging market, right? And that's also what we discussed yesterday, that there's a, let's say, an increasing complexity in the market, which is maybe good because it shows the market is growing. But of course, this is also creating some challenges. And what do you think from your point of view, what is the biggest challenge with your business model to scale?
To my business model to scale? Well, that's a very easy one to answer, because I need CPOs to grow my business, and I need them to trust a completely new hardware and software solution. That is a discussion that is not a 20-minute discussion. So I need to convince them. And luckily now we have deployed on the Nordics some of our equipments. So, you know, seeing is believing. Now we have the product, it's being tested, we are getting very good feedback. So for me, the hardest thing was actually prove that they can trust that the solution works. And now we have done it. Yeah.
Thank you. One more question?
Yeah, thanks, Mariana, for your nice presentation. I have two questions, or let's say I started with one. Should I play the bad boy or the good boy? Like last year I was asked, so today I will be, well, let's see, a bit critical. We see a product called Lighthouse, and it's a kind of a concept, what you write. Is it real, or is it in a
No, it's real. You want to come to Finland with me back, you can test.
So this was a question, because Lighthouse, if you go to big OEMs and also to big CPOs and EMSPs, all the market guys around, and you ask about a Lighthouse project, then it always has a kind of a negative touch. Maybe this is, this is typical because Lighthouse is not scalable. That means you build a lighthouse and you can't build 5 lighthouses close to each other because they are not connected so far. This is a typical thing you learn from the IoT segment. If you have lots of sensors, they are doing all the same thing the same time, then you have a scalable problem. So I don't like the lighthouse as an expression because it has a kind of a negative touch. But nevertheless, well, I would say this digital business you're focusing on the one hand side, this fits quite well. Digital signage is a very important thing to make it, I would say, simpler and not more complex, what we learned over the last days. And additionally, the question is how to monetize this. Can you give a smart info about where's your monetization chain? Is it hardware selling, or is it even, let's say, the software pack you're going to sell?
Yeah, so we obviously sell the hardware. That's a one-off, but that's not where the business model is living and breathing. So we are a service business because screens you see everywhere. Chargers, they have screen, but they sell the hardware, and then you are there with the screen. So we provide all the layering, all the service that runs this Lighthouse for you. We will make sure that you will have your advertising, your product placement there. We will create all that you need. So you just need to, have the locations, and we will run the service behind it for you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry that you didn't like the Lighthouse.
Thank you, Mariana. Well, don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so up next, we have the sales project manager of Smopi Mullet Charge Point Solution, Tobias Franz. Tobias, are you ready? So welcome Tobias. So my one-line introduction of his startup is that it is a German charging system manufacturer that successfully sells a multi-charge point overall solution that conforms to calibration law. That's it. And everything else we will hear from Tobias's pitch, which will be 5 minutes. Then he'll answer a question. Tobias, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So everybody can hear me? Okay, let's start. To the very beginning, I want to go back in time, just like her, because with our friends from Last Mile Solutions, I saw the line out there. They said every big idea started with a beer. And that's very great because this was exactly what happened to us. Maybe about 7 years ago, our founder, Thomas Schliff, he has to be somewhere down there, wrote down his idea of building a charging solution on another way, on the next level. He wrote it down here, and this is the original one. So I decided to bring it here. Let's have a look. I will tell you what we are doing, because the AC charging infrastructure has a few problems that nobody is really talking about, because a few problems are the lack of user information, the wallboxes are quickly outdated, with the technical development, the technical evolution on the market. We have high costs of maintenance if you build more than 5, 6 wall boxes in a row. So if you want to serve big parking lots, you have to do something more. And how are we doing this? We built the whole intelligence for the charging processes in one big charging cabinet. So we have here the possibility to serve multiple charge points, up to 10 with each cabinet, and the user who will charge his car at his parking lot, he has only a small charge point, only to plug in at his parking lot. He can't do anything wrong. It couldn't be easier to use. And this system is completely compliant to the German calibration law. You said it already. And the masterpiece inside is that we can scale it. Depends on what the customer wants. We can build nearly every wish inside. And for example, we can easily update our system. So if you have wall boxes outside, try to upgrade them to the new plug and charge story. Even if it goes, that's not very easy, and for us it's no problem. We have one walk to our cabinet, and 10 charging points are ready with a new standard. Another point is the third modular element that we have is our display. It's a 15-inch touchscreen display where you can start and observe the charging processes. It shows the user all relevant data for the German calibration law. It generates a QR code where the user can validate the charging process. And that's the point where we bring the usability from the DC chargers to the AC chargers. Because when you look at a wall box, tell me something about the display of a wall box. Even if it has one, it's very tiny, it's hard to read. You have maybe a little window on the side. You have to lay your head to the side to see anything what's going on. And we solved this with our display, with our control panel. And this whole system can completely build up modular. It means when we want to add a credit card terminal, we only need one credit card terminal for maybe 1, 2, or 3 cabinets. It means the costs of growing with the needs of the customer are about 1/20 or maybe less than if you have single ones. So that's our advantage.
Time is up.
Thank you.
Unfortunately. Thank you very much indeed. Very strict around here. Thank you. So very strict timekeeping, so it's fair to each of the finalists. So now 2 questions from our jury.
Yeah, shall I go? So first of all, congratulations with the impressive company. And I think many hardware companies struggle with the calibration law, so it's fantastic that you've obtained that. It is quite a German thing. And as a hardware company, I think in order to grow and also maintain margins, you want to expand and potentially internationally as well. Are there ideas and plans to go beyond Germany, and how do you plan to go into different geographies as well?
Sorry, it was hard for me to hear. Your question is how we are planning to.
What is your expansion strategy across different countries, and are you planning to grow into other areas as well?
Okay, we see that other countries are growing after Germany with their regulation laws, and we see that our system is kind of backward compatible. So if in Spain, for example, new regulations are coming, our Spanish customers are buying from us the safety that the system will work no matter what or which regulation will come. So we have, for now, we have a few customers from Swiss, for example, the Netherlands we are talking with, because we can offer the safety that they can buy the system for the next 30 or 40 years, and it will grow. So if a new regulation comes, they don't have to renew the system and buy it once more with new abilities or something.
Thank you very much. One more question from our jury.
Thank you, Tobias, for this presentation. I do have a question, just to make sure. So this is a charging station for public charging, right? Or for enterprise?
Yeah, typically public charging.
Okay. So if it's public charging, so what is like the key element to differentiate yourself to other competitors? Because on this market, it's like highly competitive, and some key players are saying, okay, we found it, and even if the screen is actually like something great for customer experience, what is like your leverage to say, okay, please choose us and not the others?
So what's the difference between us and others? That's quite easy, because we are the only multi-point charge point manufacturer that can offer this system that can grow with the needs of the customer, modular and completely scalable and completely individual, all confirming to the German calibration law. That's the big difference. If you have another system, you are hitting any border at any time, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 1 year, maybe in 5 years. But it's sure that you will hit a border where you cannot break through, and you have to renew your whole system. Not with us. Our system can grow, and we will always have the right to charge fees for. We do not have to give it the power for free. Because we are compliant to the calibration law.
Thank you.
And we'll stay compliant.
Okay, thank you very much, Tobias. Many thanks indeed. Tobias Franz from smopi. All right, our next contestant, our next finalist is from a company called Zeemcoin. Let's welcome the CEO and co-founder of that startup, Borja Moreno Candau. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
So I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. You'll forgive me. You will forgive me. I will do a very quick one-sentence introduction of your startup, and the rest is up to you. So Zeemcoin is the first tokenized platform that collects data on the public charging experience, like the quality of chargers, availability in real time, etc. So are you ready for your 5-minute pitch?
Here we go.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello. I remember 2 weeks ago, I was traveling with my family, my 3 kids, my wife, and I arrived to this industrial area to charge my car. It was nothing to do. It was no bar for sure, no toilet, no nothing. It was no safe area at all. So I realized, what a good project I'm building. Zeemcoin is a mobile app. It's like a TripAdvisor of public charging infrastructure, where drivers can evaluate the charging infrastructure, the quality, the safety, and everything. So with this, we generate a lot of big data. This big data is shared with OEMs, is shared with CPOs, CMSPs, so they can improve their customer experience. Then we add with blockchain, we add a lot of value, creating a gamification system to give rewards to the drivers in our Zeemcoin token. So Zeemcoin token, it's a cryptocurrency that you can, whenever afterwards you can talk to me so you can get some. So it's a money, yeah? It's value. It's 25 cents today. So we give tokens to the drivers so they can inform about how is the infrastructure. We want to become the standard payment in the EV world in Europe. So we see that community and collaboration has worked with TripAdvisor, with Waze. If you are going to do kite surfing, then you open your app Windy and you see where you're going with comments, with picture, with spots, you know. So then all of this is working because community works. So then we have created Zeemcoin. The app is already live since yesterday in Spain, and so far in 2 days we have 50 stations evaluated. So it's cool, no? The user open our app or a partner app white label, for example, and then he provides feedback. Whenever he provides feedback, we collect this big data for CPOs, and we share with them with APIs, instant notifications, interactive dashboards, monthly reports, ad hoc reports. The idea is to empower the adoption of eMobility in Europe. That's the main goal. So we give rewards to the drivers because if not, they don't really get back to the CPOs, for example. And then the drivers, they collect a lot of Zeemcoins. So because when you evaluate one charger, you get 1.5 euros. That's 5.6 Zeemcoins. So in this sense, they can use these Zeemcoins to pay with the CPO, or they can rent a Tesla already in Spain with Future Drive, or install a charger at home with IonClick. That's partnership we're closing with some companies. You can plant a tree, and we give you an NFT. So you are the proprietary of an exclusive tree in a Zeemcoin Valley. And also, we have a decentralized app. That's an app where you can do farming, staking, and get some passive income, becoming a token holder. So in crypto world, you can get the tokens and keep them and get passive income. We've been here, I've been in the eMobility since 2010 when we presented the Tesla Model S in Spain. The last 5 years I've been with Peter is here, my co-founder, in EVBox. So far we are a dream team. We started developments in March, so it has been very, very fast with Solid Studio. We have an innovation program subsidy of 300K already in place that we have been awarded. And then the mobile app is live. Now we are talking to CPOs, CMSP, to be able to connect with them and start helping them on how to improve. We had in mind to go Europe next year, but it's going to be at the end of the year. So it looks like everyone wants to start earning Zeemcoins. The token will be put at the end of the year. And here is a surprise for you. I'm going to give airdrops. So to anyone who sent me a message through LinkedIn, I will give him an airdrop of 25 euros. That's 100 Zeemcoins. So he can start charging. Maybe he can charge for free, because if the tokens go to 10 euros or to 100 euros, he will pay energy for free forever. So thank you. I'm Borja Moreno, CEO of Zeemcoin. Thank you, Hubject. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Okay. So now 2 questions from the jury.
Thank you very much for your really impressive presentation. I really enjoyed it. And thank you also for sharing your service with us. I hope I can ask 2 questions. I will try to keep it short. One question is, I think it's impressive to see that right now we are seeing a lot of service providers in place who are focusing on the quality of charging, right? Getting ratings in place, getting additional information. How do you see the competitor landscape in regards of your service? So do you see a lot of competition in this area of the market quite soon?
Not really. I see Uncharge that is doing very well. I see Plug and Share in the States that is really doing quite well as well. But I don't see any more. But they don't have a cryptocurrency behind, so it's kind of different.
Yeah. And that's a great topic. How do you want to keep your cryptocurrency stable?
to get the value of the coin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a burning exponential model. So 30% of our employee data revenue, we burn, and as we only have 100 million tokens, coins, it will be a deflationary model. So every time it will be, if we grow a lot, we will burn a lot of tokens. So token holders will be benefit from that. But also, if we add a lot of value and a lot of usability to the crypto Zeemcoin, zero emission coin, then a lot of people is going to use it, so they will prefer to keep it to pay things because the money is going to grow. So then if we do a good job, every one of us will improve the customer, the user experience, and we will rise together the price of the coin.
Maybe another question from a jury member?
Yeah, fully agree with Christian. Impressive, and thank you for the pitch. I think you have quite a complex ecosystem that you're bringing together, right? You have EMSPs, CPOs, and a user base that you want to grow. And as you're currently exploring partnerships with CPOs and EMSPs, what is your plan to grow the user base? Because I would assume that once you have scale, you'll become relevant and you'll be able to strike more partnerships. But what is your strategy for the user base in addition to giving free coins here on stage?
For the users, right?
Yeah.
The traction, no? Well, indeed, our app, well, maybe ends up with the best app in Europe, but it's not our aim. So we just built this app to show our partners what they can do at their business. So it's an API gamification system to be integrated in different players, so their users can win Zeemcoins. So we will collect this data, and we will share with everyone. So we don't want to invest all this money because a lot of companies are investing money in getting users. So we will use other users. No? Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Many thanks.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. We have one more finalist. He is from a startup called ZipCharge. Let's welcome the co-founder, Jonathan Carrier. Hello, hello. Hi. So I also have the one-sentence description of your startup, and that is energy democracy for everyone. Portable battery storage to power your home, charge your car, or access power anywhere. And Jonathan is going to tell us more in 5 minutes and not a moment longer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you about ZipCharge. What you see on the screen is the ZipCharge Go. It's the world's first portable bi-directional power bank for EV charging that consumers can buy. Now, it will power anything, even those electric heaters that all people in Germany have been buying this summer, ready for the winter, which obviously in the event of a blackout, you're going to need energy. So this can actually store 4 kilowatt hours for you and then power that electric heater for as long as you need. But more seriously, I bet you're thinking, what a stupid idea, a portable battery on wheels. Who's going to need that to charge an electric vehicle? Well, actually, when my co-founder came to me with the concept, that's exactly what I said. But when I looked into it in more detail, then of course, the more I scratched the surface and the more I understood that there's a real problem to be solved. Here in Germany and the UK, 40% of people live in apartments or without off-street parking, so they cannot install a home charge point. You go to Italy, you go to Spain, it's over 50, 60%. You go to Singapore, you go to Hong Kong, and other markets around the world, it's 70, 80+%. Now, you'll say to me, but there's going to be lots of public charging. One, there'll never be enough public charging because the rate of growth lags behind the rate of sales of EVs. And two, it will always be more expensive to charge in public versus charging at home, particularly when you have a time of use rate to take advantage, which this can do. So let's go in a little bit more detail. Well, when my co-founder came to me, his brother lives in a terrace property, which basically meant he couldn't charge at home. he had to use the local Shell petrol station and found he was queuing, and this was over 2 years ago now. And what we find is the biggest barrier to adoption for electric vehicles is charging anxiety. It's no longer range. People want to know, how can I reliably charge my car when I need to? And pretty much, that's where the car is parked most of the time, either at home or at work. Now, the real problem when you have an EV, when you're not going along a journey, is actually the behavior of charging an electric vehicle is you graze, you don't gorge, yeah? You top up little but often. So, just like you do with your mobile phone, you plug it in when you can, not when you have to. Well, it's exactly the same with the ZipCharge Go. Think of it like that power bank for your electric vehicle that gives you reassurance whether you're at home to charge every day or whether it's a device to be able to take with you on a longer journey like an electric jerry can, then it will always get you out of jail free. Now, we like to say we make charging as simple as ABC. 1, 2, 3. This is not the Jackson 5s, but ultimately what it does is it makes it as always be charging. So like I said, it's that opportunity to always add range to your vehicle. Now, it's smart and app controlled. It has no buttons. The first question that we always get asked is, how do you stop it being stolen? Well, it's mechanically tethered to the car, locked in, but it also has a digital tether. That digital tether means you can geofence its operation, you can remotely disable it like iCloud. It has an automotive-grade tracker in it, which means you can track it any time, and it has a token, which only then can work with the smartphone that's authorized to use it. So even outside of that geofence zone, it's disabled. So it's a 25-kilogram dead weight. So that version on the screen will deliver 25 miles of range, pretty much, for a Tesla Model 3. So in the winter, here in Europe, that's 32 kilometers, more than enough for the daily miles traveled here in Europe, which in Germany is about 30. In the UK, it's the high 30s. But we'll also do a larger version that will cover off the United States, where the average vehicle miles traveled is about 26.5 miles. So this is a version of, top-up charging regularly for your everyday needs. So we already have over 13,000 pre-orders from people around the world. 50% of those private customers already have a home charge point. This tells you this is incremental. This is not substitutional, and actually adds more flexibility to the charging mix. We all understand and we all respect that ultimately there has to be a range of solutions that encourage EV adoption. And what the ZipCharge Go does is add flexibility, regardless of whether you have a home charger or not. But it works equally for fleets as it does for depots. But the last slide, really to come back to those electric heaters, is this is a device that can do so much more. And we spoke with the previous guest before the startup rounds that actually we're in the midst of the world's biggest ever crisis. It's not just financial, but it's about energy. What this device can do is act like a Tesla Powerwall. It has a bi-directional AC-DC converter that can charge from solar, but also power your home. And that's it.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Like they say in German, Punktlandung, so right on the dot. Jonathan, we have some questions from the jury.
Thank you very much for this presentation. I love your energy, actually, so I'm really impressed. I do have one question. So you say you already sold 10,000 pre-orders, right?
We've got over 13,000 private pre-orders from around the world, from about 84 countries, and surprisingly quite a few small countries where there is no infrastructure, like Mauritius, like Malta, like Cyprus. Many of these other countries that have to go electric where there is zero infrastructure.
So I do have a question regarding the manufacturing. How do you plan to scale this this production? How are you going to avoid all these shortages that are on the market right now?
Yeah, we have to be very conscious about our own footprint. We've all experienced significant disruption in supply chains over the last 2 years because of COVID, but also the impact that's had. There's also not enough supply to meet the demand. So we've got this kind of corollary effect of convergence of challenge. So what we will do is actually seek to build microfactories. Our microfactories will be co-located near where the major cell suppliers are. That will allow us to minimize the miles traveled, but then also minimize the carbon footprint of the supply chain, as well as building resiliency. Those microfactories can be rolled up and spun up very, very quickly because there's not a great deal of industrialization or automation. And then effectively, you are very close to the market and you minimize the overall footprint of the supply chain. We'll start in the UK. We'll then roll out to the rest of the world with specific footprints depending on who our cell partner will be.
Super clear. Thank you.
Yeah, so very impressive, I have to tell you. I have several questions. The first one, you're a strong guy, or you look like a strong guy. And how much weight is this device? So look at me, I'm a little bit smaller and not that powerful. So how's it going? How much kilograms I have to transport from A to B and B to A?
So I think you underestimate yourself. It's the size of a small suitcase. In fact, it's smaller than the size you can take on Lufthansa or a British Airways flight. So it's the same width, it's the same depth, and actually it's lower in height. So it's super small. It's like a small suitcase, so it has a retractable handle. You can pull it along with one finger. It's that easy. Even my grandmother could do it. And unfortunately, she's dead and in the grave, but you know, she could probably still do it. So it's 25 kilos, and actually when you look at all the health and safety regulations, the manual handling limit for 25 kilos is 1.2 meters. So that's just about the height of the lip of a trunk of a vehicle. So the weight really isn't an issue, because as and when you use it, most people are very familiar with doing so because they have a small suitcase, they travel with them, and it's super easy to use.
And next question, your business model is quite complex, I would say, because you're depending on, well, your micro factories you mentioned. How does it work? Because you need the components as well, like other, let's say, battery power providers from the hardware side. So you're a small one, you're not a big player like, well, all the big ones like SDI and Kettle and so on, and battery is battery. And well, cells are cells so far. You need an extremely good supply chain. And the third question was from the cost side.
Sure. Let's separate out industrialization strategy from business model, because they're two very different things, okay? So business model is D2C. Take a look at Peloton. More consumers now want to buy direct from brands, but when you have a new technology product, you need to control the narrative that you tell the consumer. This is something that's different, that's new for people, so you have to be able to help educate them along that journey. So we will be D2C, however, we will work with major auto OEMs and existing automotive channels where new electric vehicles and used electric vehicles are retailed, because actually there's a win-win there. Because someone walks into the showroom and goes, I live in an apartment, I really want an electric car, but I can't charge it, what am I going to do? The salesman just wheels out the little suitcase and goes, here you go, here's a solution. It's on subscription, which is great. It can be bundled in with the lease, and ultimately, we're all golden, because the dealer sells a car, we sell another unit, the consumer gets a way to flexibly charge at home cheaply. So that's the model. It's worth saying that that device that we saw on screen will be priced at less than 2,000 euros, including Mehrwertsteuer, so including tax. Our ambition is to make EV charging accessible to everybody. We believe nobody should be disadvantaged by how and where they live. And if you look at the fully installed cost of an EV charge point, a 32 amp EV charge point, that's about 1,800 euros before any government grants. So our intention is to make that as accessible as possible so that everybody can go electric.
So you're selling this at Lidl and Aldi and all the supermarket chains?
No. We will sell direct. We will sell as a white label solution for OEMs only, so the car manufacturers. And we're already in discussion with several car manufacturers, both existing legacy ones and entirely all-electric ones, about providing and installing this with the vehicle, either as a factory fit option, accessory, or sold through their distribution chains. And then ultimately, our go-to-market will then be through a number of partners, obviously through the OEMs as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
All right, that was our final finalist. Oh my goodness. Wow, I am really glad that I don't have to decide between these 4 startups, because they are each so interesting, so innovative in their own way. So I'm glad you guys have the task of having to pick the one winner, but I think it's safe to say that all 4 of them are already winners by being the finalists and also being such visionary, innovative, incredibly courageous and motivated startups. So let's just give a round of applause again for all of them. And selling your idea in 5 minutes is also not easy. So well done to all of you. Gentlemen, I will give you a few moments to put your skulls together, to consult, discuss, and choose your winner. We thought of playing some corny music in the background, but we're not going to do that this time. Maybe while you discuss, I will discuss with our audience. Maybe we can do some trivia. So are you guys in the mood? Can we ask you some trivia questions, some eMobility trivia questions? I think we did it last year as well to pass the time while these guys discuss. So yeah, not surprisingly, I have a few trivia questions prepared. So yes, here they are. Thank you. From the Regie, from our tech team. So ladies and gentlemen, from the EV ecosystem, who can tell us when was the first ever electric car built? So yes, you need your app to vote, is that right? Yeah. So who's going to give us the correct answer? When was the first ever electric car built? So whip out your smartphones and the app, log into the session, and you should be able to participate in our trivia quiz. Was it 1995, or B, 1884, or C, 1950, D, 1870? Are we going to be able to pool the answers? Can we see how people are voting? There we go. So I have the answer. And I have to say, we have a very smart audience, because the most popular answer that has come through, B, is in fact the correct answer. So yes, the first ever electric car was built in 1884 by the English inventor Thomas Parker. So amazing. Well done, audience. So smart people here. OK. They're still talking. Let's have another one. OK, so our next trivia question. In percentage, how much heavier is an electric vehicle compared to an internal combustion engine car? So let's see. Test your knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. So who can tell us? Is it around 20% heavier, 5% heavier, 70% heavier? Yes. So overwhelmingly, our audience says it's only 20%. Well, it's not as low as 5%. It's around 20% heavier. Yeah, that still seems to be the overwhelming answer. And indeed, once again, you are correct. The answer is 20% heavier. So well done, smart audience. OK, they're still talking, so let's do another one. So what was our next one? Here we go. So how many smartphone batteries would you need to build a functioning EV battery? I'm trying to visualize that. It looks a bit funny. OK, so do you need 15? Oh, 100, 300, 500? OK, so it seems that nobody seems to think that only 15 of those will do it. That's obviously not enough. Oh, OK, somebody did think it was 15. OK, never mind. It still seems most people don't think it's 100. So the vast majority would say it's almost evenly split, either 300 or 500. Well, that it can charge a car, I would think. So how many cell phone batteries would you need to power a car? So, well, I know the suspense is killing all of you, so I'll just tell you what the correct answer is. It is apparently 300. So 300 smartphone batteries to power a car. OK, they're still talking. OK, so let's do another one. We have the question, what is the fastest speed that was raced by an electric ice cream van? Just also have to, get a mental picture of what that looked like, a race by an electric ice cream van. So what was this fastest speed that it reached? I would like to see that in Berlin, actually. Okay, so they look like they're ready, so this will be our last one. Okay, so also overwhelming. How do all of you know the right answer to this question? So yes, apparently it was 128 kilometers an hour for that electric ice cream van. Not bad. Well, I think our smart audience should give itself some applause. Well done, everybody, for your trivia. So almost everybody. Okay, so gentlemen, are we ready for the moment of truth?
Yeah,
the announcement of the winner?
Yes, we are. Definitely. Thank you, Mariana. Before we are announcing from our point of view, most convincing presentation today, I would like to remind us again a bit on how we came, so to say, to this panel, to the 4 finalists. Please keep in mind that we started this by reaching out to all of you, all the companies and startups out there to, so to say, apply by themselves. And then you all have voted for the 4 final candidates who have just showed up on stage. So therefore, thank you again for making this happen and also for supporting our finalists that they made this final pitch today on the stage and presented their ideas to you. Thank you very much. And I think you all agreed to the fact that we had great presentations. So thank you very much for all of your great insights. We have seen, I would say, really quite diverse business models. And I think, again, that's great about the industry, right? That's now the market really becomes a real market. So we have a lot of great ideas in place, also quite different topics. And you all are focusing very much on the big question on customer experience. How can we make charging more attractive? How can we make charging more convenient in front of EV drivers? So therefore, thank you. Really, really great presentations you have shared with us today. Thank you very much. But as mentioned, we need to make a decision. Mariana, you're totally right. It was really a tough decision for us because, of course, as mentioned, we have seen different products. Of course, we have raised a lot of, hopefully, good questions. That's up to you, of course, to rate us as well as a jury. And we have seen that all the solutions, they are focusing on, as mentioned, on customer experience, but also focusing on different kind of customers, different approaches. And therefore, it was not very easy for us, really, to make a final decision. And of course, we also have seen that some things we liked more, some things we liked a bit less. But nevertheless, we need to make a choice. So therefore, again, thank you very much for sharing all your insights. But as mentioned, there's only one winner, at least today on stage. And we would like to welcome ZipCharge to the stage as from our point of view, best presentation today. Take care, take care. No, really insightful presentation. And of course, I think I can say that you all loved your pitch, so that was very convincing. And we asked the question to ourselves, where are we able to pre-order our device as well?
Yes, absolutely. Oh. Yes, you can pre-order the device. Just go to zipcharge.global, and on there you'll be able to register for pre-order.
Thank you. I'm quite sure that a lot of people will do so today. And thank you again for your presentation. And yeah, congratulations to win the 3rd Hubject eMobility Startup Award. Thank you very much, and thank you for sharing your presentation with us.
Thank you very much.
Applause for you.
Thank you. And to the finalists, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's, I have to say, it seems to me that this kind of solution might be just what it takes. I forget which of our panelists said that his parents are not ready for an EV. So maybe with something like that, they would feel more secure.